Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl, and today we ask if some dinos were actually dragons. Roll tape. Were some dragons actually dinosaurs? Now, we know that the dinosaur legends began at least 7,000 or 8,000 years ago in ancient China. 2,000 years later, they showed up in ancient Japan. And basically, every ancient culture had a legend or myth detailing dragons, such as Apophis among the Egyptians, and Tiamat among the Babylonians, the Hydra among the Greeks. And of course, in the good book, I mentioned before that there are a number of cases regarding leviathans. Many of those were actually sea serpents and might well have been plesiosaurs, such as the elasmosaur seen right here, that is, aquatic dinosaurs that survived the death of the dinosaurs and were reported by those in the good book. Another possibility is that we have actual land-based dragons mentioned in two books. First of all, in Job chapter 41, and then in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation chapter 12, where a red dragon is detailed. And going fast-forwarding to the Middle Ages, we have Beowulf fighting the dragon Grendel. We have, of course, St. George fighting his legendary dragon. And there is even a St. Martha in Provence, France, who battled the dragon known as La Tarasque. In the Western Hemisphere, Quetzalcoatl among the Aztecs was known as a feathered serpent. And in Middle America, in Illinois, there's a depiction, a petroglyph, of a flying dinosaur known as the Piazza. And again, it's possible that one of these pterosaurs managed to survive the dinosaur demise, found an ecological niche in which to continue to exist, and gave rise to that particular depiction. Now, the dragons in the many cultures had numerous delineations. Some were just elaborate snakes. Others had 7 heads, such as the Hydra. But this seems to be the standard version, a bipedal creature that very much resembled our friend right here, T-Rex, uncannily similar. Now, some say they were simply, these depictions of dragons were based on creatures they knew about, such as snakes, lizards, and of course, crocodiles. But this seems to be too similar, uncannily similar, to the bipedal carnivorous dinosaur like T-Rex or the allosaur that preceded him. Now, how could that be accounted for? Well, perhaps since the dinos were global, people in different regions found fossil remains and were able to come up with these delineations. That doesn't seem too reasonable, however, because the modern era of paleontology, where fossils were being uncovered, didn't really begin until the late 1700s in Scotland. So it would be amazing if they came up with such accurate depictions. So we go to the Ruehl hypothesis, namely that some dinos actually found an ecological niche to survive in when that asteroid struck the Yucatan Peninsula 65 million years ago, triggering a climatological catastrophe on terra firma. And that humans actually interacted with dinos until recent times. Were the dinos today? Well, possibly they were hunted to extinction. Now, as added proof, I show you what we call the Grand Canyon dinosaur. This is from a petroglyph or rock drawing in the Havasupai Canyon of the Grand Canyon. That's 30 feet above the ground, dates back 500 to 1,000 years. And this particular depiction showed at least one human, some normal animals such as elk and buffalo, and this creature right here, which I claim looks very much like a bipedal dinosaur, very much like our friend T-Rex here. Now you might ask, where did the idea of the wings come from? Well, we know that many of the bipedal dinosaurs like T-Rex apparently had feathers. Perhaps they were simply depicting feathers as wings. Or, conceivably, the dinos actually had wings, not for flying, but as the first step toward evolving into the birds. And what about the fiery breath of the dragons? Well, we know that the cobra can spit out venom 8 feet. Conceivably, dinosaurs could spit out venom too, and this was depicted as flames, but was actually venom. Can't be sure, but certainly a possibility. And for skeptics, I show you one more piece of evidence, namely the coelacanth. This is a fossil fish that actually existed on Earth 300 million years ago, then was thought to be extinct for millions of years, Then, in 1938, off the coast of Madagascar, a skull was discovered, alive and well. And 2 other skulls have since been discovered off the coast of Java. Now, I point out, this isn't a guppy. This is a fish that's 5 to 6 feet long and weighs 100 pounds. And yet, it remained undiscovered for eons. So, if that's possible, I think it's also possible with the dinos. That indeed some dragons were actually based on observations of dinos that found an ecological niche to survive in. We can't prove this absolutely, but I contend it is a possibility.
Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos be with you. Yes, yes, yes.